Okay, so obviously I'm jumping straight into the review. It turns out that I didn't plug in my microphone, so for all the trades that I took today, there was no voice, no sound, no nothing. So what I want to do is I just want to talk through the trades, really what happened. Obviously down $138, not great. Um, well, I guess the main reason is NKTR, but I'll get to that one after I go through the TWX here. I do have the videos, so I'll go ahead and go through those. Um, Obviously looking at first symmetrical triangle short looks really good for a breakdown underneath of this. I wanted to get half size underneath the pivot line and then add the rest as it broke this wick here. Profit target was somewhere around 45. I mean, it broke down and it got right to my point, but that was it. That's all it did. It didn't do a single thing after that. It just, it touched it again and then bounced straight back up. And then as it was doing this, I was just looking for a place to get out, really, and kind of maybe think about resetting the trade. The spread obviously got a little ridiculous at some points here, spread of 9 cents and 6 cents, and I mean the thing would get as tight as 2 there. Now it's back at 1, so spreads today were pretty ridiculous, especially on the NKTR, which you'll see in a minute. But I just bailed on the trade as it got up to the 78 again. I figured reset and come do something else, but it kind of broke down again, and I wanted to take it short underneath of those wicks down there at 59, but it just kind of bounced around. And then looking back at Lightspeed here, it didn't really do anything until we got all the way out here, but there wasn't really a pattern or anything to be looking at this point. I mean, you kind of got some of this stuff in here, but I mean that's not really anything at all. And then the 5 minutes aren't that clean either, so there was no real trade to be won in this case. But I mean, looked really good. Thought it might have a really nice move, but it just, which one is it? This one just didn't happen. Didn't get the follow through. So I mean, I cut my losses, I guess, as quick as I could. Ended up being a $40 loser. I mean, I could have made that smaller, but I wanted to hold on to it till because I mean it could just come back, retest, and then want to move even farther. When did I get out? I got out, yeah, pretty much on that candle, and then as soon as it decided it wasn't going to turn around, I just bailed on it. So then I got, this is NKTR, so it is another, I mean, the trades that I took today were not bad looking trades at all. They were all really good looking. I just didn't get any follow through today. Trying to see here, I was taking it a wedge. I believe it was just like this, and I was looking at it trying to take it long over the 25 here, and then it kind of kept bouncing up against the 9. Then as soon as it broke the 9, I was thinking, okay, well now I want it to break the 22. So then I put my order in at 25 with a limit of 30, and I mean I got filled at 30, so it was about as bad as it could get. And the problem with this trade is that it was the spreads, and I did not pay enough attention to the spreads. So right now, they got 3 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents. So I mean, this thing will get as wide as 10 cents, and that is not something that I was paying attention to, and it really cost me. You see the volumes are kind of spiking every now and then. Same situation. It's still just resetting and resetting. Still, it looks like it wants to, kind of break out of the wedge here, and then finally break the 9, and then we break the 20, and you just get this crazy wick. I mean, it just kind of just pops, comes right back. I mean, I was in this trade. I mean, the second that I'm in this trade, I'm already down to where my risk was at. So, I mean, in no time at all, I'm immediately down $40 on the trade. So my size is obviously way too big. What I should have done is taken half of this size, and then played with like a risk of like 39 or something, the whole number. But I don't know. I think the problem with this trade was that whenever I realized, that I was in way too big and the spread was ridiculous and there were just too many things going on at once, I think I got kind of panicky, and I didn't really, my mind wasn't clear enough, and I didn't, cut my size in half or anything. I stuck out the trade, held on full size through the whole thing. When the trade is wrong, then I'm finally wrong. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to, wait with full size. I could have tried to get out close to break even, cut my size in half around there. Like right here at this 20, I could have just, okay, I'll just stick it there and play with smaller size. But I mean, the thing turns right back around against me, gets down as far as all the way at 04. I mean, there's another situation where I could have cut my size in half, just take a $15 loser, and then, if it wants to move, this thing could move to 70. I think my profit target was 40 cents on this, so, kind of where this consolidation is. I mean, it could have been like a break-even trade or something, and then I noticed that the big buyer was here at the 50, it kind of bounces off of it again, comes back, and then as soon as it breaks it, I'm out of the trade totally for a $70 loser, which, 300 shares losing 23 cents. It's not good, I did not plan the trade correctly at all. I think I gave myself a 6 and 11 on the compliance. So I mean, didn't cut my losses fast enough, same situation where I could have cut my size in half or something. I didn't plan correctly, and it just cost me pretty bad. I know one of my goals for this week that I wrote down from last week was didn't cut loss and rethink the trade. Instead, I held on to it, ensuring that it was going to be a bad loser, and that was pretty much the same situation that this was. I didn't plan it correctly from the beginning, so whenever those kind of situations are happening, I need to find a place where I can really reduce my risk. And if it's going to come back, where I'm only 10 cents down instead of 20 cents down, and I have an opportunity to, have the correct position size, I need to do that. So I need to write that one down. Then the last trade that I took was JD, which was not this one, this one. Which is another pretty disappointing one, because this one looked really good too. I mean, we had, from the two extremes of the day, the high and the low, and then we got the new low high and then the new high low. It's kind of consolidating, and then it gets, it looks good for a short at one point, and then looks good for a long, and then it's kind of bouncing around. I was like, okay, I want to take it long over the whole number. Breaks the whole number, and then just turns right back around against me. It was just kind of another one of those trades where, you're not going to win every single trade. So if you're not going to win every single trade, how do you make that loss as small as possible? So it got clipped in. Doesn't really move at all. Just kind of comes back against me. It was another situation where I could have exited and just rethought my plan. Big spike down, kind of getting rejected. Thought it might bounce. I wanted to wait for the close and everything. It comes back to, a few cents away from my entry. I just finally bail on the trade down there at 93. So 10-cent loser, only losing $30. So it's not as terrible as it could be. So I mean, I had 300 shares trying to get it to 20. So I mean, I was trying to get 17 cents out of it. It could have been close to a $60 winner, $50 winner or something. If it breaks that, moves the retest to high a day or something. But you just gotta keep your losers as small as possible. So I mean, JD was pretty upsetting, and then the real move came right over here, and I kept looking at it, trying to really figure out why it wanted to make the move over here instead of earlier on. And I mean, the closest thing that I could come up with is, it's kind of like this new consolidation triangle in the middle, not really looking at the kind of the extremes here. I mean, it made a move higher. I didn't want to, I mean, I wasn't looking at it at the time. I told myself that I was done as soon as I was done with this loser. But I mean, the daily support, this 4180 was a pretty big daily number. But I mean, it's been kind of consolidating around it this entire time. I mean, it kind of opened at the 80. I mean, other than that, it never really did anything. And then just kind of looking at the 5s here, you can kind of see on the inside candles here, and then it just kind of pops up. Could have taken that one. Would have been a decent sized winner. I gotta re-add my studies in there, but I'll do that in a second. So pretty upsetting day. I don't know. It should have been probably $100 losing day, which obviously still you don't want. I mean, just the trades that I took, they weren't terrible setups. It's just there just wasn't any follow through. So I mean, today's just one of those days where I gotta figure out how to keep it as small as possible. You know, there's not really much to talk about winners since I was never really up on any of these trades. I think my max favorable, my total max favorable for today was $18. So I mean, I was not green at all today. So it's just one of those days where you gotta figure out how to make the losses as small as possible, and you know, just come back to tomorrow. Just gotta keep taking the good trades, you know, one good trade after one good trade, and hopefully we'll see some more follow through tomorrow. So that's all I got for today. Just gotta practice, do the usual, and come back, make sure I'm focused, planning things correctly. You know, I can't skip over anything, so I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.